Well, I think that basically everything we do has the end citizen in mind. But I have to say that when I came to state government, I was a little bit struck at how few services there were directly to citizens. And as state agencies, we spend a lot of time providing services to each other, but there hasn't been a true focus on citizens. So we're trying to change that in a couple of ways. First of all, we've started an innovation program in Minnesota called actually Minovations. And we had our first challenge in this last summer. And the challenge was to all of the Minute, which is my agency, Minute employees in the state, asking them to give us ideas on how we might better reach across agencies and out to citizens. We got a lot of ideas. We had a lot of interaction. And we are now sort of sorting through those ideas and coming up with the top list that we can actually implement. The governor's office then used that same model to go out and poll all 38,000 Minnesota state employees, as well as the public, to get ideas for the governor's initiative called the Unsession. He's looking at the next legislative session to be one where we can simplify our rules and regulations around starting a business, for example. So those initiatives, I think, have been really instrumental in looking for ways to reach out to citizens. One of the goals of our innovation program is to have an enterprise approach to those services that citizens can best take advantage of. You know, they're all demanding more mobile apps. There are a core set of people who want more state data, so that they can either, in a sort of urban hacking mode, come up with their own apps, or maybe even start a business around data that they get from the state. Their perspective is that they've already paid for it by virtue of paying taxes into the state. So we're trying to facilitate that as well. The second initiative we have going on is an effort to look at data in the state as an enterprise asset. In the state of Minnesota, all data is public unless it's been legislated as non-public, and there isn't a good approach to that data and using it for the good of citizens. We're hoping to change that with a governance model that takes a look at what's out there, how we can best repurpose it, both internally for applications that we build, but also for the citizens and the urban hackers who are really interested in providing more services to citizens. For the last 2 years, we have been working pretty diligently at IT consolidation. Legislation came through in the 2011 legislative session that mandated that we consolidate all of IT. So we have the administrative end of that pretty much done. We have all the people transferred. We have a reference model that defines IT across the executive branch. We have service level agreements in place with every agency so that the services we provide them are measured and costed and they know exactly what we're getting. We'll be continuing with that effort. We are in the midst right now of financial consolidation. We expect to have that completed by the end of this fiscal year. And we have a pretty rigorous tactical plan related to setting up a Minnesota cloud that moves some of those services that are best delivered from a consolidated state out of the agencies and into a more consolidated way of delivery. That's going to keep us busy for at least the next year. In addition, we'll continue with our innovative approach, and we will continue to work with the Governor's Office on data governance efforts going forward. And, of course, we have to keep everything running as well. One other thing I would add is that we got a fair amount of money in this last legislative session to start the replacement of legacy systems. We have some Department of Public Safety systems and Department of Human Services systems that are 30 to 40 years old. it's way past time for them to be upgraded, and now we are starting on that path. That sort of feeds into our responsibility for setting up a state-level project management office, which is new to the state of Minnesota, and we will be refining that through the next year as well.